NS need to get it together.
What a fit. Oh, man. It's coming. Homie, it's coming. This hurricane coming. See it. Hurricane coming. And his name is Machu. Well, Machu, nobody call you. Come around here for. Hurricane coming. Try and prepare yourself. Tell your friends and relatives on the family islands. This one he coming smiling. Big broadcast, they say hurricane coming. And they coming with a whole lot of flooding. They say it coming plenty water. We want Darren Miller be the reporter. Big broadcast, they say hurricane coming. And they coming with a whole lot of flooding.
These guys again?
Yeah.
Wait, these guys again.
That's not Solo and somebody else, or is that?
I don't know if he's on with somebody else, but
Or Solo's be Solo?
let me tell you something. I want to know, who are these guys? Answer the phone, Kendrick.
Yes,
Candy telling
Ed,
you answer
yes,
the station phone. I don't know what
Ed
Fields
is,
wants.
Yes, Ed is calling.
But he's got you can't answer it. Sorry, Ed. Come to the station or send me a text. We can't help
Spaghetti-o.
you. Ed's not here. But these guys, okay.
He's
so
on the way, though.
The first one was the bridge toll gone up.
Bridge.
Up. Okay. Second one was the tube tying.
tie up.
And now they get the. Well, they're creative and they quick.
Quick.
They get in the studio quick.
They only need some little inspiration.
I swear we give them so much publicity on this show. I don't even know who this guy or these guys are. I
You
gotta
all
meet
need
them.
to invite them.
I didn't mind. Hey, contact me, Rogan, ROGAN at edfieldslive.com.
They might come up with a song right on the spot.
They might as well come up with one song for Ed
About
Feels Live.
Ed.
Let's do a theme song for Ed Feels Live. We give you all so much play.
I'm telling you.
Good afternoon, everybody. I'm Rogan Smith. I'm here with Candelaria Thompson
Hi.
and Kendrick.
On the
Kendrick
wheels.
last name, Williams.
Williams.
Jesus, I forget. Man, I had a long weekend, man. Look at give me the thumbs up.
He kills me. Like
the
there's
thumbs
no
up?
voice. There's no voice. There's
Oh,
no
he-
sound. There's
He
no.
has something to say in a minute. Fields is on his way. He was here in the parking lot and he had an emergency, so he had to leave. But he's coming back, right, Candy?
I would hope so.
Yeah. But no, the hurricane is on its way. I guess Matthew is going to be hitting the Bahamas on Tuesday. Jamaica's getting some
Your
effects.
prep
I
over the
haven't done
weekend. I
anything.
hope people have been preparing.
I was so busy on the weekend. No, tomorrow I'll probably get some sandbags to put up against my door just in case. But I haven't.
You were buttoning up.
I'm buttoning up this
You were
time.
putting wood on your window.
I put no wood in the window.
Well, what
You
is
have
it?
shutters, and I don't have
I don't have
shutters.
shutters. Listen.
I pour. So I have no expensive shutters.
But
I
this
have
ain't
the-
jokey for Trudeau.
No, I mean, look, I'm not taking it lightly, but at the same time, I'm not too worried about it because
Really?
Nassau always seems like it's cradled by the other islands.
I don't know, but this is shifting a little bit more to the west than they anticipated. You know, I was talking with some friends. Has New Providence ever had a direct hit?
I'm sure it does.
Really?
I can't say like
I don't
how
think,
many years ago.
I don't think we have.
I don't know, but maybe they have. Maybe we have. I'm not sure, but I just feel like we always sort of get buffered by the other islands,
Yes, we are
and so we'll get it.
snuggled
Yeah,
right
nestled
in
right
the
in the middle,
middle.
and so we just have to kind of see how things play out with this
Man,
hurricane.
those southern islands, man.
I feel sorry for them.
I
That's who I
do.
feel sorry for.
I mean, they've barely recovered from last year.
yeah. So I'm hoping nothing major happens there. I know this sounds crazy, but I kind of like hurricanes.
Because you get a little time off.
No, but let me tell you something. I just started getting time
so
off.
you could be up in your dark hot house.
I just because I ain't got no generator. I just
and you know
started getting
BPL
off.
go,
Or,
that turning off by tomorrow.
Let me tell you something.
So-
When it's sunny outside, the electricity off. So I don't even know when you get a little bit of rain. I just started being off ever since I started working at Sunshine Insurance. Because I was a reporter, so you always had to be in the
'cause
field.
You were always on.
Always on, always in the field through Pinewood and different areas. So I mean, this is new to me to be home.
I don't know if I'm going, being locked up in the house with my husband. Sure.
You ain't like that, eh?
No, I love y'all.
I remember the last hurricane I covered was when I worked at Love 97, and all of the reporters slept inside the newsroom. We just stayed there because
Oh, that must have been fun.
that was a lot of fun. We had a
Yeah.
good crew too, so it was exciting. It was better than going home and then possibly getting trapped and then having to get back to the station. So we slept there. And I remember being in my office and my friend Makushla wanted to come in on my cot, what I made on the floor. I said, "Oh no, sweet girl, it ain't that kind of party." So I put her by the window in case something come through. She get hit. That's the kind of friend I am.
That's not nice, Boogie.
It ain't nice, but it's real. So make sure y'all are prepared. I'm gonna get my
Yes,
sandbags tomorrow, and I'm probably gonna have my uncle come and help put up some plywood.
We're not going to be as fortunate as Jamaica, because you see Jamaica roll that out.
Boy, I was watching. Oh, with Level Up.
Level up. Jamaica say don't come around here. But you know what I want to find out too?
What?
You know how Bahamas, they brought the students from
back from
Jamaica here?
Jamaica,
So they brought them to the storm. You think they take them back?
Don't they say your mom?
No, I would have said, like, listen,
maybe.
y'all ain't going back, because y'all brought me to the storm now.
I mean, but I'd rather be home in my country, in my ma and pa house,
Right.
than to be over there.
Boy.
I'd rather be home, buddy.
Anyway,
Kendrick, you prepared? What you do?
yeah, you
you
button
do?
up?
What you do? You won't come swing by me and put up some plywood, eh?
And he tall, he could reach you.
You can reach my Kendrick.
Because you live in two-story? You live in a
Yeah,
two-story?
it's like
Oh,
a town
Lord.
home. You could do that for me, right? Mm-hmm.
Yeah, man, you could
could
reach.
scale them
You
walls
about
and put that up for me?
6'7".
He's 6, well, all better.
Well, gee.
Listen, I
was
need you to
only
come
an
by
inch off.
tomorrow. Okay? Yeah, but anyway. So you all had a chance to watch Saturday Night Live on Saturday with the skit
I didn't
with
watch
Alec?
it, but I've watched,
The clips were coming on our Facebook or on TV.
Yeah.
I had no idea. And I've loved this man forever, okay? I remember him even way back in the day, Beetlejuice, and even before then, okay? I had no idea that Alec Baldwin was so gifted
funny,
at
yes.
these impressions of Donald Trump. Now, homegirl, I forget the actor's name who did Hillary. She was okay, but he nailed it. By the way, I
His
saw she
facial
had on her red. I call it the singing bishop.
What Kendrick
ensemble.
said it was?
What you call that?
What
That
did you
OBS
call
suit
it?
she's wearing.
Oh, what?
The what? The canvas?
Something.
Come on.
It was funny.
Every suit that Hillary has, she has the same suit in different colors.
Yes. The
And
blue, the red,
White, I've seen
white.
her in. But she looks, have you seen the singing bishop perform?
Yes.
That's the exact outfit. So she go on by
The
the singing
collar,
bishop. Oh
everything.
yeah, the collar. I expect every time I see her come on the stage to hear,
done.
when peace like a river. I just start doing my leg. It is wet. Because he don't say well, he say it is wet with my soul. But that's my little singing bishop impersonation. But she always has on the same outfit. I need her
No.
to switch up the look.
I told y'all offline, if she gets a better, I don't know who her stylist is, but please, if she just switches up her outfit and wear something more current,
She can wear a pencil
Or hip.
skirt and a
Let
shirt
me tell you
tucked
something,
in
boy.
and look nice.
her points will go up.
And she curvy, you know.
Yeah,
She got a little shape.
show off a little shape.
Show off your little. I ain't saying being no little sucker to me outfit, but look feminine.
Thank you.
I think she's trying so hard to not appear like
Yes.
that she's just overdoing it now. And I hate the suits.
And that's I mean that yes, I agree.
Yeah, I am feeling the suits, Hillary. Bag of fix up.
No.
But I want you to go play that clip from Saturday Night Live. For those of you who missed it, you missed a really good one because Alec Baldwin is spot on. Play that clip. This man is an
That's your
absolute.
boy, Ed.
Oh my!
Zoma.
Let me tell you something. He was so
He was
spot
good.
on with the gestures.
Lost
and
the
everything.
election just on that.
Just off of that.
Because, it's like Palin.
Oh,
It's like the Palin
Tina
movie?
Fey used
Yeah,
to come in with the.
I can see Russia from my house.
Oh
I
my
can see
gosh.
Russia from my house. I can't even do
She
our
was very
accent.
entertaining though.
Yeah,
Tina-
Trump
Tina
is
was
entertaining
funny.
too.
No, but Alec
No.
just killed it, man. He killed it. What's up with you?
Just a little breath action.
You out of
hurricane
breath?
prep.
Get yourself.
It's hurricane prep stuff, man.
I didn't expect you to even be here so soon.
Yeah, it's hurricane prep stuff. I told you I'd be here 1:45. There you go.
So
And
you, oh yeah.
You came in 4 minutes early.
Yeah, I was just gonna say almost there.
Yeah. Well, no, I'm actually early.
I said almost there, almost
mean-
there to the point where you said you come
yeah,
in.
yeah.
Trying to be smarty
so
pants.
Yeah, no, I did see the Trumpster thing, but of course, my favorite thing is I follow this, and you have to go onto your Google, and you just have to type in 5, right? 538, and then you'll see polls,
Yeah, I think you told me this the last time.
and then you hit the top thing that comes up, and this is the magic button. This is the magic. Oh.
What?
She up to 70. This already. See
Really?
from listen last
It's
week
that
debate.
SNL thing.
Last week debate, right?
very
At the debate, Erica was here. I don't think you
Yeah.
were here. And we were in a panic because right before, hours before the debate, it was at like
40
53
yeah,
to something. It was at the lowest possible. She's back up to 70, and then the little tax thing hit.
Bombshell report. Hey,
Oh,
him and I told Candy on the break before we came on. I said he and his people are right now trying to pull up some dirt, but he's going to get
Yeah, but
dirty in
the-
a minute. In a minute, you
But
can
it
bring
doesn't
up,
work
he
because
can
he's
invoke the spirit of
forecasting. See,
Bill Clinton.
usually when dirt happens, right? Dirt happens kind of like, incognito date, right? He says on the closing remarks of the debate, I could have gotten nasty. Okay. All right. And then the Saturday Night Live comes up and says, I could get nasty.
But I
I
say
didn't want to, but in the 90s, the president, his name was Bill. I don't know if you know it. It was a husband. Okay.
And he talked about Monica.
And he's and my people are investigating it. Okay.
Proven. So what are you
Okay.
talking about?
And as soon as we get the information, all we know is her first name is Monica. We don't have the last name, but we'll let you know. She's very heavy.
I had no idea he was that gifted.
But
Alec
Baldwin. Oh
awesome.
yeah.
He's one of my
good.
favorites, but
Yeah,
I
yeah.
did not know he could do that.
Yeah.
He's the only actor who was like hosted SNL for
16 times or something
Yeah,
like that.
it's incredible.
And then you saw the little Family Feud. They had a Family Feud.
With Trump?
But no, it had all of the different supporters. Like at one side it had Christie. It had Putin. At one point, Putin take off his shirt. Okay. It had Ivanka Trump. Then it had another side had Bill Clinton, some other people, right? So at one point, next thing you know, and they were on opposite sides, Bill and Ivanka. At one point, next thing you know, Ivanka's on the side with Bill, and then she's saying, we're just getting to know each other,
No, that was good, man. I had to watch the rest of that because that was awesome. It really was.
Yeah. It's good stuff.
You prepared for the hurricane? No, but before we even get to the hurricane,
Yeah.
did you register to vote?
No, I owe you $100.
You owe me $100.
Yeah. Okay, that's it.
Yeah.
I owe you $100.
Yeah.
I
It's
couldn't
not a
get
big
it on
When
deal.
can I collect that?
You'll collect it when I give it to you, as I always do.
I need that before the hurricane. Yeah, I gotta buy some plywood.
Yeah. So we have Candy. We're going to talk to her. We have Obie Ferguson and John Pinder coming up. But more important, and we could. The Trump thing was funny. We can stay off of that. Seriously, since she's now up to 70%. Which, by the way, let me just tell you in terms of electoral votes, that mean, okay, that means she has 307 electoral votes to his 280. It was getting close, man. So we just want to say to everyone, and in a very, very, very basic way, please prepare for this storm. This is going to be, I think, the potential of being a serious storm. And while we may, and I don't even want to say it because people, they get slack, we may luck out. It actually has turned, or is predicted to turn a little bit more toward us. It was initially going north, and we would have it would have been more east of us.
Right.
But it is predicted that on Tuesday, Wednesday, it'll take a more northwest turn. It's almost as if it's saying, okay, let me come up here by Long Island and think I'm there. Okay, y'all take y'all straight now. So okay, look at this. I go on this way.
Level up.
Okay, because
Level down.
the goodbye Hofstra. But
I'd asked a question. I don't know if you know.
I
Has
don't know. I
has
know,
New
I
Providence ever had a direct hit?
yeah, man. Yeah, historically.
No, I mean I literally pass right
we
over.
I've been in hotel hurricanes at the hotel where I think we've had direct hits. Now you might not have had. It may have been like a Cat 1 or
Yeah,
Cat,
a
smaller hurricane.
uh-huh.
But because I remember where it's died down and then it's quiet and then you go outside and then boom it comes back.
I would like to know those
Yeah.
storms.
I think
Andrew,
one
was
might
it
have
a
been
direct
Michelle.
hit? It was supposed
no,
to be a direct hit.
and it was a direct
It was
hit. You mean
on-
New Providence?
I'm
Yeah,
only talking about New Providence.
Yeah, I think we've had some, but but
It
not
was-
not
it
as
shifted.
powerful. That's the
Right.
point. So this could possibly be a 3. It could be a 4. And if it's a 3 or a 4, depending on how close it is to us, it's going to be some major stuff.
Yeah.
So this is no time. Listen, we've got. I don't know. I batten up since Saturday.
Well, I know you misorganized.
I batten up since Saturday, Jack. My yard clean.
Clean,
Nothing
clean.
flying. Okay? So the thing is this, you've got today, you've got tomorrow. There is no reason not to take any precautions. To be honest with you, and I'll be quite frank, you're behind
Yeah.
the time. So,
Ain't too late. Kendrick coming to help me tomorrow.
Yeah.
Right. With
yeah,
a 6'7" self.
6'5", 6'6".
He's
All right.
6'7".
Okay.
Oh.
All right. Well, listen. I got to go and take a very important phone call. So I'm going to ask you and Candy to start the thing. I have to. It's work related. I know. Unfortunately, I got to do what I got to do.
take a call too.
Okay, well
Sunshine
then,
and Sean,
well,
okay,
yeah,
so
no, but
leave me on my show.
I'm dealing with our guests, and I got to deal with some stuff. I'm
Mm-hmm.
sorry, ladies. So you'll get started. I'll be right back.
I know people saying, what kind of jungle show this is? These people ratty bad now. That's him. Don't blame me.
Or it's a little junglist the first half, and then y'all is clean up the second half.
Candy, me and you are decent folks, yeah? It's
I
him.
think so.
Yeah. Anyway.
Gone again.
Yeah, anyway. Candy. What I want, baby?
Right here.
We have something hot to discuss today. We always have something hot to discuss.
Well, yes. But now today, I think I'm going back to
Yeah, you're
the
gonna play
whole
it through?
gender. Yes, I have to clear my throat. Listen, those who know me, well, these are the kinds of topics that I love to talk about when it comes down to gender and, double standards and leveling the playing field between sexes. I think I've always been a feminist from I was a child. I didn't know the definition back then, but
And it just means you believe in the equality between the sexes at the basic level.
At the basic level. I'm not pro woman and anti men. I've never been that way. I'm pro man, pro women. Okay? So anyway, now over the weekend I going through my Facebook feed and I saw this post of a friend of mine. Well, it's actually the co-host, even though he doesn't like to. He doesn't like to hear
that title?
He don't like that title for Tygo. But his page can be very provocative at times.
Sure is.
Right? So this particular topic piqued my interest and a lot of others because the comments just started
What's this
reaming
now?
through. So it starts out, and I'm going to read it verbatim.
Somebody wrote you?
No. This is the post.
Okay,
this
go
is
ahead,
the post
go ahead,
itself.
go ahead. Okay.
So it's RESPECT.
Oh, I think I saw this.
Question. Why is it a man can embrace his sexuality, sow his wild oats far and wide, while racking up a hefty body count, for those who don't understand body count, meaning sexual partners, and still be viewed as perfectly valuable and eligible for long-term relationship / marriage. But a woman, on the other hand, doing the same would be labeled all manner of negative terms, including, but not limited to, loose, you bad, you been run, slack, just to name a few, and lose all value or consideration as a in quotes, wholesome wife. Well, that's not, wholesome isn't in this post, but as a wife
that's what it is.
or long-term partner. Hashtag let's be honest. And there's a picture of this woman.
I think
She doesn't have on a bra or anything. But on the shirt it says a woman does not have to be modest in order to be respected.
See, now that's where I disagree because the picture what he posted. Now I was agreeing with. I'm not gonna let you get to it, right?
No,
I was
this is an open discussion.
Okay, I was agreeing with what he said, but the photo sort of canceled that out because the photo it's like a see-through top. You can see her areolas, and
which men have as well.
Yeah, they got it, but it's different. Mine ain't engorged like hers are. To me, like you. If you want respect, you have to act in a classy way. You have to act respectfully. To me, the equivalent of that would be a man wearing like a see-through
shorts to see his
shorts
knobbles and bobs?
to see his. That's a good way to put it. And then saying, Although we don't look at them the same way,
No,
though.
we
We don't
don't.
look at them the same
Women's
way.
bodies have been sexualized.
Yeah, but it is what it is.
Breasts aren't for sexual purposes.
Yes, they are.
No, they're not.
They're for they're for feeding babies, but they are for sexual
that- but-
purposes.
and that's
Your
why we
bodies are to
have
be
the-
enjoyed by each other.
Yeah, but now we have now we have the issue of women breastfeeding in public. No, put them away because you offend me. Because that's a sexual thing. Like breasts are voluptuous and they turn me on, as opposed to no, I'm here feeding my child.
Listen, I don't have a problem with you feeding your child, and I'm a woman, and I'm sure when I have kids I will breastfeed, but I will put a nice little prayer cloth over my
prayer cloth.
boobage and cover my baby. I have been.
Well, we grew up in a very modest society.
I used to live in Cuba, and let me tell you something, them gals don't care. They on the Wawa, that's the
Yes,
bus, and they pull it out and they pop it in their kid's mouth, and I'm scarred to this day.
Why are you scarred?
Because I don't want to see your nipples, girl.
Why?
Because to me, it's just a little too
For 2
provocative.
seconds? Right, but what? But see, that's the thing, because that's what we've created. We've created that. I mean, to the point where I cannot feed my crying child. Y'all know what it is when your child hungry?
Yes, you can. You can feed your crying child.
No,
with a
circumstances
prayer cloth
always
placed
don't.
strategically over your boobage.
So my child must suffocate. I must hide my child. I ain't even know how we get on breastfeeding.
I know, but you get a breathable cloth and you put it over
That's
that
okay.
baby.
That's okay. No, well, me and
I
your
know we
views are
didn't.
completely different. Because I breastfed both of my children.
And you just popped it. Sorry to say it like that, but you just pulled it out and just popped it in their mouths in the front of
Let
people.
me tell you something. When you have a screaming, crying baby, and say for whatever reason you don't, things happen. Oh, I forgot my cloth so that I don't offend everybody else in the car somewhere. I may be in a store. If I have to feed my child, I shouldn't have to then go, oh, let me see where I could find something where it's more convenient for other people that, no, I'm sorry, I'm going to feed my child as soon as my child needs to be fed.
So you can't lift up your shirt and put your child underneath there?
Say what?
You can't lift up your shirt, because I'm assuming if you're out, you're
Yes,
wearing
if I lift
something.
up my shirt, then you see all my belly. You want to see my belly
But you
and
want to
everything
show me your
too?
nipples and you have
I'm
problems
just
showing me your
saying.
belly?
I'm saying, as opposed to me, no, there are shirts where you can maneuver and all that other stuff. But what I'm saying is, it's just something our bodies, like for instance, you have an issue with this woman.
Yeah.
With with the message
The
on her
message
shirt.
on the shirt.
Because
read the message. I can't see.
yes, a woman does not have to be modest in order to be respected. Meaning, so I must act a certain way for you in order for you to respect me.
I mean, but people have different standards. So here's my thing, because I kind of agree with that. So like for me, a woman who's wearing a short skirt or short shorts or a tank top or whatever, if she's out, she doesn't have the right. I mean, she doesn't deserve to be catcalled at. Mm-hmm. A man to me, should not feel as if he can touch her or try to rub up against her or insult her in that way. That's her body and leave her over there. But what I'm saying is, if he wants to stand at a distance and say, why is this girl dressed like this? This is inappropriate. He too has that right to say, I have no respect for this girl. Look how she dressed.
But inappropriate in what way?
Because she's too revealing. She has too much of her butt cheeks hanging out, or it's just really form-fitting so you could see her curves or something. Like you could see her breasts are hanging out. He has a right to have that judgment.
Who made these rules?
Society makes those rules.
No, I mean, let's go way back when. You think women made these rules for ourselves?
Yeah, they did.
You think so?
When Eve, if you want to go by the biblical story, when she ran and hid because she was ashamed of her nakedness, she started to make those rules. She made those rules.
Well, we ain't going there.
But you asked me where it come from. I said if we go by biblical standards.
We'll not.
Then she started that. Eve say, let me go run mine this bush. So now we feeling the wrath.
No, but going back to the post, though, right? So, I mean, because that's a whole nother can of worms. Because a man could walk down the street with his chest out. A man could walk down the street however he feels. A man can really do a lot of things that he wishes to do without any kind of shame.
He
Or-
doesn't feel
or-
ashamed, or people don't make him feel ashamed.
Nobody makes him. Yeah, people don't make him feel shame.
Yes, they do.
Women. Oh, come on, Rogan. Let me tell you
Candy.
something.
When I see these guys with their butt cheeks hanging out because the pants are like, it looks
you
so
mean butt
stupid
cheeks?
to
Oh,
me.
with them
When you
low.
can see the super low where they have to kind of walk like a waddle because you can see their underwear,
Mm-hmm.
their boxer briefs or whatever they're wearing. I'm disgusted by that, and
Mm-hmm.
I judge them. So I mean, I can't fault a man for doing the same thing to a woman. But sorry, I interrupted your point. But I do judge them.
But my thing is with the sagging pants though, that isn't. We're not. Yes, because we think that's a dumb fad. Like that's a
Yeah,
stupid
it's so
style, and
stupid.
it looks dumb, right?
Yeah.
But no, as opposed to a female who I can't wear booty shorts because oh Lord, that makes me feel a little bit uncomfortable to see your butt cheeks hanging out, and I might get a little hot up for that. Nah, I don't know. So that I can control myself, it's best that you wear shorts to your knees.
Okay, hold on. We got to take a break because we have to stop for news, but we'll come right back and finish that thought. Back to Ed Feels Live. I'm here with Candy. You crack it up, eh? Make sure I couldn't wait that
No,
part.
what? I didn't see Kendrick point, so I know I was good.
Yeah, that's a good thing. We got off topic due to, that was my fault. But, you were talking about leveling the playing field between the sexes. And so let's continue on there.
in sexuality, and we were talking about body count or the amount of
sexual partners
sexual partners. Yes, and we don't necessarily mean multiple partners at the same time, but people can people can have I always forget the words.
Get that tab open, eh?
Y'all made me open about 10 tabs while we were offline.
No, but you're talking about, there is no level playing field in the fact that a man will look at a woman who has had multiple sexual partners and feel
Right.
she's used up and
Right.
has a lot of mileage.
And women, and this is what we were talking about. Women play into
To
this.
it. They agree
so
with that.
Yes, by all means. So if you buck a dude, right? Okay, buck. if you buck a dude, right? You're all talking or whatever, and you find out. I'm just throwing out there. He deal with 100 girls.
Yeah.
Is that really going to be a deal breaker for you?
All I see is gonorrhea just flashing before my eyes.
No, he has a clean bill of
I
health.
ain't care. I
He
just
is-
start
he
seeing a lot of
is-
different STDs floating.
But he has none. He has none. He's a clean bill of health. He's he took care of himself, well taken care of, whatever. But he just racked up a high body count.
I don't want a well-blown whistle.
Okay, you may
What are
be.
you doing? Excuse me, Mr. Junglist. You just come back. Stop disrupting this
That was a
conversation.
roar of a lion.
Oh my God,
I thought you said indigestion.
Go sleep. Hold on, let me finish, right? But let a woman come and tell you her number.
And it could be 20.
Or it could be 10.
And they mad.
And they'd be like, boy, you know what? And in this particular topic on Facebook, I saw a comment, and I'm not going to mention any names, but there was a comment that said, oh, that's great. If a woman wants to embrace her sexuality, all for her, more power to her and stuff like that. But that ain't the kind of woman I want. Okay.
Can I say something?
No,
you're
until
not
I'm
allowed.
done.
Yeah, there you go.
No
We
problem.
run things
Yeah,
on
right.
your mic.
Rumbara,
On the Enfield Live show.
On the-
You know what, Candy? I'm sorry. He's being 5 years
Yes.
old, so
Go
let him
ahead.
No,
have
you
it.
know
Let
what?
him
You
have
don't know
it
the song I'm
say. Let him
singing.
have it
Yes.
say.
Wee.
We do know the song.
Okay.
But have your
okay.
moment.
No, it's not a moment.
Have your
I'm just, you're having a thing. Kendrick is not saying a word. Okay, but the reality is, I'm just not. No, let me change that. Not the reality. Does this mimic?
Give me one water, please.
I only have one water, and I didn't even bring it. I left it in the car.
All right.
I didn't bring any water.
I can run downstairs for some water.
Okay, your mouth dry?
Yeah.
Okay. In the jungle, the mighty jungle, the lion sleeps tonight. All I'm saying is, listen, Candy. Yeah. In the species world, in the world of species, okay, your man with the mane, Clarence, I think he was called. Who was the boy who got shot the other day? The lion.
Oh, Oh, now you don't know.
I don't know. It was Clarence. I know when I was growing up, they had Clarence the Cross-Eyed Lion.
Yeah, no.
But anyway,
I can't
but you know what
remember
I
the name.
mean. Isn't this sort of a kind of a, I'm going to be very simplistic. Just put it simplistic. Because I think for some reason, we have created a lot of kind of things in the modern world that complicate stuff. So take one half of the world, forget about our half for a second, take one half of the world, and they have 4 or 5 wives each. That's the reality there. That's not a fake thing. Whether, I don't know, I'm not saying it's right or wrong, I'm just observing. They have 4 or 5 wives there.
Right.
Okay? And in that environment, if
Yeah, but when did that start, though, Ed?
when did that start?
Yes, not from
Abraham?
Okay, so we going back to.
No, but I mean, you said when did it start?
No, I'm
asking
talking
the
about
question.
beyond religion, man, Ed. I'm
like
talking
me
about
till it's not
beyond
even
that.
funny.
I'm
No,
talking
but-
about because y'all think like I mean.
No,
well,
I'm
anyway.
not thinking anything.
Whew.
What I'm trying to say,
I almost said something that might have.
Candy. All I'm trying to say is this. What have we done, right? Let me give you an example. Forget about this. Baby bottles. Okay? Baby bottles. Okay? When did that start?
When we went to work.
Okay? Because before that, it was breastfeeding.
Right.
There was no
we were
baby
just talking
bottle.
About breastfeeding.
Right. Okay. So in other words, breastfeeding was the way that we were designed to feed our young.
Yes.
Okay. But we got was it Playtex?
No,
That's
maybe,
the name of the people who make the bottle?
No, maybe you know what? Maybe what happened?
I don't know.
You
but
know
you
what?
Can tell me.
I get a little turned on when your breasts out. Let's put them away. Let's
don't- but
invent
then
the
again,
bottle where
but
we
you
make
agree-
it a little bit more convenient for you to to feed your
whatever
child. How about that?
Whatever the reality is, I'm saying that is something that made nature complicated. That's what I'm saying. I'm not defending it. I'm saying this is what we have done. We have taken things that are natural, and because of whatever the reasons, whether male or female, we've complicated it. I mean, now people are swinging back to breastfeeding, right? So I'm saying we complicated it. Because there would have been a time in history where if you took out your breasts to breastfeed in public, you what? Now it's almost like, okay.
Exactly. I
again.
know, but you keep going back to like,
The real time, so bring the beginning of the species.
No. You didn't go back to that. You
That's
went
what breastfeeding is. It's
Oh,
the
no,
beginning
no,
of the
no.
species.
No, I'm talking about your comment about,
that
the
was an
multiple
analogy.
wives and
That was the analogy I was making. I was making an analogy that in many civilizations from way back, I'm not defending it, just an observation, from way back, this is what occurred. Now the question is, was that the natural thing?
and that was the point that I was trying to make. That there in itself, somebody created that. That was created. Like, okay, well, over here, yes, we're going to have multiple wives, and I'm assuming that's the men created.
Do you know
that.
where it was created? Go to Genesis chapter. No,
I'm
I'm
talking
telling you.
about. Okay.
No, I'm just
yes,
telling
we
you.
always go back to the beginning
I'm
of
not
organized religion.
You know what? No, that isn't religion. That's the Bible. I don't prescribe to that. But what I'm saying is, Adam had multiple wives, okay, with
but
multiple
why
children.
why do we keep?
Because maybe that story was a replication of what was. It's a story, but maybe that was an observation of what was. I don't know. I wasn't there.
No, I don't think.
You weren't there?
People existed before that too.
But
And
do you
things
understand what I'm
existed
saying?
before that.
Well, let me ask you a question then. We've been doing this now for over a year.
Mm-hmm.
And could it possibly be that we're having these discussions over and over again because for some reason or the other, we're not comfortable with the way things are, but yet that's the way things are?
Well, that's why you have to continue having these conversations.
I know.
Yes. I
To seek to change things?
yes, like I mean, why does it continue? Why do we continue to have it's in 2016 a double standard? Why is it, women are still considered less
Chattel?
valuable
Chattel.
If she's had multiple sexual
yes,
partners.
if I
But does the man not, okay, and I agree with you 100%, right? But does the man not have the right to determine that he does not want that type of woman? And women have the right as well. But it's women who choose to say, I don't care if he has 100, if he's been with 100
Yeah,
women.
that's what I said.
I'll
Yes,
just go.
women play
so
into
they
that.
play into it. So they need to stop playing into it, because if they say, I don't want a well-blown whistle, I want a man who's probably been with maybe fewer than 10 partners or whatever, you know what I mean? Or if he, or
luck
somebody who's
finding
been with, there are men out there, I'm sure. I'm sure. Or a man who's only had 5 sexual partners or whatever. If they start putting those demands on the men, then, I mean, there'll always be women who will go with them anyway. But then they'll probably see a change or want to make a change and say, ain't no respectable woman wants me because I've been around.
Are you
But it
ready?
starts with the women.
Are you ready for another little analogy?
What's that? Go ahead. We
No,
love
and
your
I'm
analogies.
just throwing it out as an observation.
No, we
many
love them.
years ago when we were what do you call it, agricultural society, right?
Mm-hmm.
Many people had many children, right?
It was that.
Because for one, they didn't have satellite TV, and secondly, because they needed farm
No, but it
hands.
was free for all too.
And also, you needed farm hands. You needed
Mm-hmm.
people. You needed people to help you survive, right? The tribe and the clan and all that kind of stuff. So what we do now is we say, well, even though it's our natural inclination to copulate, we say, well, hold on, let's put a little barrier there, because we don't need all these children, right? But that was the whole fruitful thing. Okay. Could it be that the way that the world worked was that you had multiple women or wives, and because you as the male fought, like the lion, fought to protect these women, to supply them with their needs, food, what have you, that men developed and I'm not justifying it, I'm just observing this possessive thing, right? That is mine. I'm fighting for this. I'm providing, bloom, 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 and no one must come near them. Could that have been the embryonic, the
genesis
basis
of
for
it?
the genesis
I mean,
of this? I'm just asking.
But see, my thing is, right? I mean, take your lions and example for take your lions, right? You have a lion. Yes, the lion. What does the lion do for the lionesses in his
protects the pride.
He protects the pride.
Correct.
Who
His
goes
brothers
and hunts
ain't
and
doing
brings
that.
back the
They ain't
food?
doing
The
that.
women,
The women. So I want to know.
because he's
hold on.
protecting the child as well.
Yes, but I then now want to know how is it that your role as protector, because that's all you do.
No, you don't do it more than that.
Well, yes, but I bring in.
Anywhere.
You got to do the
I
mounting.
bring it. I'm bringing home. The lioness. I'm going to hunt for your food in order for you to have energy to protect us. So my thing is, how is it that your role in protecting me became more important than my role to bring back the food?
Oh, I don't know. You'll have to ask the lion.
Or
This is what
leveled
I'm-
up on that.
Because he has, you know why?
So
because
this
he's
is
bigger
now.
and has fangs.
This is where I'm trying to understand now. When did
you
those
do it again,
roles?
Yeah,
when
because
did
he
one
has-
role level up?
You level up.
No, you can't. Then in the lion world, you don't level up because he has fangs and paws, and he could beat the other lions who try to come to mount you.
No more than the lioness.
Sorry, let me just say this to you. You don't see any lionesses fighting any lions.
You want me to pull up some YouTube videos?
Yeah, pull up where they protecting the child. But when another lion come in,
Do you know the lioness is bigger than the lion?
I don't think so. I think you're wrong on that.
Yes, it is.
I think you're wrong on
in
that.
weight.
I think
And
you're
in-
wrong.
Yes,
Let's
and
put it
in-
this way: the lion.
The only reason why the lion looks so big is because of its mane.
Okay, but let me just say this to you: when the lion is there, and the other lion comes from the other pride or wherever he coming from Adelaide or wherever he coming from, the lion, the lion fights off the other lion, not the lionesses. That's just, I mean, I'm not, but I'm just saying how our biggest thing, and we're going to have to go, but our biggest challenge in life is to try to figure out how are we at this point, right? How are we at this point? Because this was not the beginning,
No,
right? Where we are is not the beginning.
no.
But yet we've lost track of the beginning. We've lost, because we went around, right? We've lost track
Right.
of what the beginning was.
Right.
And that's why I go to the breast milk, because you could say that was the beginning. You know that in order for a woman to feed her child. There was no problem.
No, there wasn't.
Okay? So we don't have to argue over that one.
No.
Okay?
No.
We straight on that,
Going
right?
for milk.
Give me 5 on that.
I see conflicting report. You know, as
Yeah, on the lines?
search. Some sites say that the lioness is bigger, but others say that she's weaker than a single male lion. You know, so a lot of times what happens is the lioness.
So she, as in Trump would say, she's heavy.
No,
That's what Trump says. She's heavy.
She's more giff.
She's heavy.
She's giffy.
Yeah. Listen, we got to go, man. We got to take a break. But Candy, it's always
I will
a
be
nice
continuing
thing.
this
To be
topic
continued.
on
Conversation.
yes, also on Tide Goats videos. So
This was a good one.
Good evening, ladies and gentlemen. Ed Fields here along with Rogan Smith. And our guest this evening is Mr. Obie Ferguson, the president of the TUC?
Trade Union Congress.
TUC, because I know there's another one. But that's John. He was supposed to come. I don't know where he is yet. But before I do that, let me disclose, because I catch this from like MSNBC and stuff. That's where I learn things. Let me disclose that, as you know, I am an employee of a hotel. Is it an hotel? A hotel. A hotel. And so obviously I don't want folks to feel that my views are jaundiced by that. I think I've demonstrated that I can be objective. So, and I'm doing this from the perspective of the public, because there's a public inquiry here in terms of what's going on. So the first thing I really have to ask this question. This is a basic question. Why is it that the public never, ever seems to know the facts when it comes to a dispute between the union and another party? And I'm not putting that on the union. Like I said, another party in the union, either way you put it. But why is it that we are, let's just an example, it used to be Christmas and the light go out, mysteriously. But you don't know what the issue is all about. But yet we're being, the ones who are suffering. Why is it that we don't know the facts? Why don't they aired publicly on the table what the facts are?
Well, obviously because someone is trying to mislead the public. But let me do precisely what you are now concerning yourself about. This matter, as you know, involved the Sandals and a number of other unions. It's not only Sandals. We gave the Prime Minister a list of all of the unions affecting the private sector, public sector, and we were attempting to meet and find a resolution. But let me say this to you. The maintenance union, this is the facts, the maintenance union was registered on the 22nd of November 2001. Senator the Honorable Dion Fowlkes declared this union the bargaining agent on the 17th day of August 2009, giving this union the right to represent the non-managerial workers at Sandals. On the 23rd of January 2011, the Privy Council ruled that the maintenance union is the bargaining agent and good governance would require them to sit down and negotiate an industrial agreement. Prior to the 15th of August, we were invited to the Attorney General office. We met with her director, deputy director, assistant director, etc. We met with Sandals management and their lawyers. Their position in that meeting was that they weren't there to participate in no discussion. They just there to listen. Subsequent to that meeting, we met with the Prime Minister. The Prime Minister advised us to meet with the Attorney General in her office. The Attorney General was also in that meeting along with the Minister of Labor. So we met with the Attorney General. I said, could we have a FIAT, that's F-I-A-T. That is where you take over the role of a criminal prosecution, which is normally handled by the government. The minister and her lawyers indicated that she had no prohibition, and there was no prohibition preventing us from initiating this private prosecution. So we were on one accord. And while we were processing the matter, we were trying to find resolutions. But at the time, the minister had already signed the Nolly on the 15th of August, 2016.
You're saying that on the same day you met, it was signed?
Yeah.
On the same.
Yeah.
Now, let me ask a question. Well, you finished with your chronological.
No, I'm not through yet.
yeah.
Now, on August the 15th, the minister signed this Nolly. She entered in the court on the 19th. We filed a writ on the 19th of August.
No, but hold on. Wasn't the Nolly I'm aware of? Wasn't that done like 2 weeks ago? This we in September, we in October now.
Yes.
You're saying on the 15th of August. So this is a Nolly we don't know about,
No, the same Nolly.
but we just weren't aware of it.
You were not aware of it.
Okay.
Yes, that's what she did. And she never told us either.
What was the date when the workers were sent home? What was that date?
That was
It was on the 15th.
The 15th of August.
She did the Nolly on the same morning,
Uh-huh.
right? And I filed a writ on August 19 over unfair dismissal. It has nothing to do with the union. It has nothing to do with recognition. It's about an unfair dismissal. That document was served on the minister around the 26th, 25th of August. But the minister was prepared to come to the Bahamian public and say that it's because of these two writs, she said, she decided that she's going to grant a Nolly. The point I'm making, there's no way the writ that was filed on the 19th could have been in her possession prior to the 15th. That's impossible.
Okay.
I never served it on her until a week later. So even though it was filed, she never was in possession before the 20-something.
All right. So now,
I finished. Last point. The first writ she talks about to the Bahamian public, she put a release. There was no such document. She cannot produce a document with the union. What she can produce, and she did not produce, nor did she disclose it properly or accurately, there is an appeal from Sandals on the registrar of trade unions. Because in law, you can't get judicial review on a union. It has to be a public corporation or something involving the public interest, not the union. But that is what she gave to the Bahamian public. So I said to her, as I said on the show, let her produce the writ that she considered prior to the 15th.
okay.
There was no writ, and the matter on the 19th she could not have because she signed it on the 15th.
Okay.
And I never served it until a week later.
Okay.
So I just want to get, you're talking about the facts, I just want to get the facts out.
Well, you have some facts, but here's the deal now.
Okay.
Let me throw this at you, Mr.
Okay.
Obi Ferguson, my friend Obi Ferguson. Is what you just went through?
Yeah.
I got to have a week to understand that.
Okay.
Now, okay? So you know what I mean by that, right?
Yeah.
There's a lot of legal machination there, okay? Because this is what I want to ask you.
Yeah.
As a citizen,
Yeah.
okay, that you have an employer, you have an employee. You have an employer's representative, whether that's his attorney or whether that's his, association.
Right.
And then the employee has the union and subsequently their attorneys.
Right.
Okay. First of all, should we be at a point on either side where there is criminal ramifications to not meeting? Now, I only throw that out there because obviously there's the civil side, right?
Yeah.
You can file injunctions and writs and all these kind of things and sue for damages, et cetera, et cetera. Should there be, just in principle I'm asking you, because, there's another thing pending that I think you're involved with about if you don't give people notice in time, they could go to jail. Should we be at that point?
But let me tell you, difficult. I agree with you in principle. But let me explain to you why.
Write that down now, everyone. You agree with me in principle.
Let me explain this to you.
Uh-huh.
I just showed you just a while ago a determination certificate that was issued back in August of 2009.
You mean the Privy Council thing?
No,
Okay. Well,
no, it's a certificate by Dion Folk.
yeah.
Right? Now, you can't, Ed, reasonably say that from 2009 to 2016.
No, that isn't what I'm saying. That isn't what I'm saying. I'm being very clear because I don't want anyone to misinterpret, and you can help me to clear this up, right?
Right.
All I'm saying, first of all, is the sanction. I'm dealing with the sanction. You got corporations, you could sue them for millions and millions of dollars.
Right.
I'm saying, should we be at a point where, because certainly there would be, and I don't know if it's the reverse way around. You can tell me, you're the lawyer. Is it the reverse way around? If the union doesn't come to the table in good faith, can the union go to jail? Mm-hmm. Is that possible?
Where you are required to sit? No, it's
No. So that's
Okay.
it. So already that seems one-sided
Unfair.
to me.
Yeah.
no. But let me tell you why. You see,
Yeah.
the union will never be the one to say we don't come into the table.
I'm
That's
just,
the problem.
I'm being in principle because
Yeah.
there's been the cases where that may have happened.
Yeah.
The union might say, you know what,
I'm not talking
Ed
to them
Fields ain't
anymore.
dealing in good faith to me.
I'm
I
not
fool with him
coming-
no more.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And that's happened.
Yeah.
But the point I'm making is, can we? I'm talking to the Bahamian people, Obie Ferguson, unionist,
Right.
Ed Fields, citizen, and yeah, I'm obviously representative of an employer to the extent that I am, right?
Right.
That we can get the criminal thing off the table. There is a pending piece of I wouldn't say legislation. There is a pending proposal, and you're aware of it. I think you drafted. That says, okay, yeah, you see, you laugh. That says that if an employer does not give notice to the union or the Minister of Labor or the relevant minister 60 days in advance, they could go to jail. Now, you want to tell me you could sue me for $3 million or $10 million? That's one thing. But to go to jail? This is not a criminal thing.
But you see, Ed, remember now, trade unions are not interested as a union in money.
No, you're interested in getting results.
Yes.
But what I'm saying is certainly in
not the way
the
to do it.
corporations world, okay, finance is a major thing.
Yes.
You see what I'm saying? I'm not saying you're going to get the money, but the point is it's a sanction, right?
Yes, yes, exactly.
Okay.
But if you fail, you see, this is the problem, Ed. In any civil society, where you qualify and you meet their legal requirements, one would expect you to treat and enter into negotiations. That's where the problem is. You see, from 2009, the company wrote a letter, right? The company wrote a letter on the 18th of April, and it says 2012, and it says, look, the agreement we have is not registered. We accept that. But we agreed with the union. This is what they did. They agreed with the union that they will sit down, they will deal with the union, despite the fact that they realized the agreement was not in place.
I want to throw something at you, my
Okay.
good sir.
Yeah.
I want to go through it. You're a negotiator.
Yes.
Okay, that's what you do. Being a lawyer, you're a negotiator. You're a unionist, you're a negotiator.
Right.
When you have a business, right,
Right.
and the sanction, the ultimate sanction for an act like not a criminal, not a felony like violence or anything, is going to jail because I don't want to talk to someone, right? What is the result? The result can only possibly be, at the end of the day, well, you know what? You know how I can't go to jail? If I shut down.
Yeah.
See, if I close up, I'm just talking about how do we get to a point of rational, because we're going to talk about some of the specifics, right? But let's just suppose, for the sake of argument, the business just say, you know what? I tell you what, you're right. I don't want to go to the table with you. Can I do this? So where's the law that says I cannot shut down?
Yeah.
So who benefits? Because if you just shut down, and it seems to me that's what they did, they use a technicality,
Right.
Then forget about NOLI. They created their own NOLI. Because once they shut down, they shut down. Now they use all sorts of technical stuff and or whatever, okay? But the point I'm making to you is, this is what always confuses me, is how do you get to a point where now, it's helter-skelter? Now,
That's not the role of a civil society.
no, of course not. But what I'm saying is, now, Obie Ferguson, where are you from? You from Macklin's or one of them places, right?
Yep.
Yeah.
Okay, so you got a little bit loose.
Not one of those places.
The place?
The place.
Okay. So, and one thing I could say about Ackland's people, right? When you say to them, you got a little bit loose, they use that. That's a sense of pride. They don't feel offended, right? In other words, don't fool with us. Okay. Now, what I'm saying to you is, if I come to you and I put you in a corner,
Right.
you're going to react. You're going to react in a certain way.
Yeah.
Okay?
Yeah.
Isn't that what we, and again, I want people out there who are listening to this show, because you see, I can say I can have a discussion with Obie Ferguson very civilly. Goes way back to 1994 when we first did our first show. Remember that?
Yeah, I remember
way
that.
back. And we can have a civil discourse. And I want folks to hear what we're talking about, because we're not talking about I'm picking one side and you're picking one side. We're talking about how do we come to a rational middle ground,
Right.
which you and I have done on many occasions.
Right.
Okay, because what we're dealing with now is irrational. He going to jail. Okay, you know what? Game come. That's what we say in the Bahamas. You know what I'm saying?
Yeah, but Ed, you see the difficulty we had with this whole thing. From the 18th of April 2012, there was a basic understanding between the parties, and everything was going very well.
Well, what happened?
What happened? They decided, for whatever reason, we have a strike vote, mind you. 90-some% of the workers voted for the strike. We chose not to. We chose not to use a strike vote.
Yeah, but what happened? What
What
caused?
really happened? He decided that he doesn't want to negotiate an industrial agreement. Period. We go on to the director of labor. He refused to come.
Who's he? Who was he?
The
Yeah,
manager-
from
the
Sandals.
Yeah, Sanders,
Okay.
the general manager. He refused to show up. We went to the minister. He said it's above his pay grade. We went to the prime minister. He seemed not to be able to get us to just have a meeting. And that's where the problem is. So it's not, they had almost, well, not a perfect relationship, but a reasonably good working relationship. Even though the agreement was not in place, they went to court. Sir Michael Barnett, who was the Chief Justice, he ruled against Sandals, and he told Sandals to go ahead and sit down and negotiate the agreement, even though the agreement expired. But they decided they wanted to do otherwise. So what they did, they challenged the registrar, and that's where I'm saying the mistake came. The public was of the view there was something pending, but there was nothing pending, based on what the AG said.
Listen. I don't have the facts of the case,
I'm
right?
giving
So
you-
I
I'm
can't.
giving you the
and
facts
you're
of-
giving me the face,
Yeah.
and it's unilateral. So I got to go. It's like I used to watch Perry Mason.
no, I wouldn't
No,
do that.
say when I used to watch Perry Mason, Warren Burger. Burger. That's how you become a lawyer. You watch Perry Mason. Warren Burger used to come with a hard case, okay, and then when Perry come, he slam it down. All I'm saying is this: I'm listening to what you're saying. This is what the public wants to hear, right? And we're going to be right back in a second. The question I'm asking you though is, or what I want to ask you when we come back is, how do we get to where we have this, this impasse? I mean, is it just, how do we get to this? We're going to be back. We're going to be back in a second, and we'll try and not resolve, but we'll discuss it. I'm not in the resolve business, I think. This is Ed Fields along with my good friend, co-host Rogan Smith. I ain't even talking about Obie Ferguson yet.
I don't just say
Is that John Penn in there? No, is that Craig Smith?
Yeah. Oh my God. I
He
think
can hear
I've
me?
seen a ghost.
Anyway, Obie, I didn't mean to
He
be
got on
rude,
the phone,
but
sorry.
Craig Smith, that's
I
my
haven't
boy.
seen him in
That's
a
my
long
man.
time.
And he had a report on hurricane type stuff. Anyway,
Hail-us.
yeah. I can talk to him before we go. You know Craig Smith, right?
Oh,
Yeah.
Oh wow.
But listen, Obie, we're going to get into some more general things, right? But I want to ask this question that I feel compelled to ask.
I know where you're going.
You are looking out of the best interest of your membership. That's your charge,
Right.
your mandate.
Right.
Was that achieved?
Well, in a sense, because what has now happened, it is abundantly clear that a trade union today will have a problem if they present an industrial agreement to an employer, and the employer says to the union, we will not negotiate. It's clear to us now. We know now where the Attorney General position is, and we also know where the government position is, and we also know now it takes it even further than that, Ed. If you file a normal trade dispute and the employer fails to show up, right? That prosecution has to come from the Attorney General.
Yep.
You know what has happened in Andros?
What's that? In where?
The company in Andros, right, at the base. The company fired 5 shop stewards.
Okay.
5 one time.
Where's this?
And the base in Grand Bahama.
Ortec?
Ortec base.
Ortec have a union?
Yeah, man.
I didn't even know Bahamas was on that base.
Oh, yeah, man.
I didn't know they
got
had a
about
union.
100 and something members in the union. But let me say, they fired 5 a couple of days ago.
The U.S. military services has a Bahamian union?
Yeah. Well, they have a
Which
company.
union is that?
Well, they have the General Workers Union.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, that's
Yeah.
I learned something.
You throw
today.
something on me there, boy.
Okay.
Boy, I didn't know
So-
that.
Yeah.
But then again, we have a union in Kentucky, so it don't surprise me.
I
Go
knew,
ahead.
but, I knew, but that one.
Yeah. But the point I'm making, right?
Uh-huh.
The manager said to the workers, you know, we can now get a nollie, right?
Right.
And therefore,
Yeah, the precedent is there.
the president
Yeah, right.
established.
But-
So I'm saying,
But you know why the precedent is there, and I know that your members are listening
yes.
because I know my good friend Freddie. He sent out a notice.
Okay.
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 But here's where you have to speak truth to truth.
Yeah.
Okay.
Uh-huh.
I assume the NOLI was put in place purely on its face because the message of putting an investor, Bahamian or not,
But ain't
or
gonna be-
other.
Ain't gonna be Bahamian.
no, whomever, in jail because he doesn't want to talk to you is kind of weird. That's just from my perspective. I'm not, forget about where I work and all that. I mean, I know people are going to cast it in that light, but it's just, I would ask people at the table.
You say weird, I say extreme.
It's just kind of,
Yeah.
I've never heard of it.
Yeah.
Now, the question is this. Now, I want to move away from this, and I want to ask you this question because I asked you if the objective was arrived at because I think what happened, and I'm going to make my little, what do you call it? Not synopsis, a scenario.
Scenario.
Okay?
You create a narrative.
A scenario, okay, was that this is what I think happened. You never anticipated that would happen because most businesses aren't in that position to do that.
We're in the business now. It's the government.
No, I'm talking about, see you on the Noli, I'm talking about the sandals.
Oh, okay.
Okay? Most businesses are not in a position to do that. Okay? To shut down. Because why? Most businesses in this country, don't have multiple streams of revenue. Okay? To say, okay, the example would be, and it isn't the same example, would be like if you had 5, I'm going to make it Jack in the Boxes, so I don't pick on any one thing, right? And you came to me, and I didn't like how the one on East Street waking, so I shut down East Street. That don't mean nothing to me because I got the other ones. Okay.
Right.
Now, if I only have one Jack in the Box, you could push it.
Yeah.
So I think I'm saying this to my friend on the air. I think it was a miscalculation. I'll just leave it at that. But having said that, where are we? And you were on our show earlier, and I want your members to hear this. This is not a contentious thing. Is where are we in unionism and employerism, for that matter, if there's such a term, to where you got all of the things legislated like work weeks, working conditions, overtime, child labor, all the laws that labor had to fight for in the beginning.
Right.
How do we get to a point where, what is the point of contention? It seems to me that the union issue of having unions has been settled, that large employers would rather have a union because it's easier to negotiate rather than having to talk to 600 people or 8,000 people. Why do we end up in these contentious scenarios?
Simply because the employer failed to.
Is it always the employer?
Well, not always.
All right.
Not always, but in this particular instance, right? The employer says, look, we will not sit down and negotiate an industrial agreement even though the laws of the Bahamas mandate it to happen. So, Ed, all I'm saying to you, outside of going on a strike, right, and doing all these other things, what could workers do?
Well, let me ask you another, this is a kind of side question.
Yes.
You'll have the little sidebar, right?
Yeah.
Were the workers at Sandals getting the same or better or worse benefits than the workers in other hotel unions?
Well, say in the Caribbean,
Say again?
the industrial agreements in the Caribbean with Sandals, the workers there enjoying better benefits.
In the rest of the Caribbean?
Yeah.
And give me an example. Don't just say that now.
Antigua and Bermuda.
No, but give me an example of what
well,
benefit.
3 meals a day.
3 meals a day?
3 meals a day. Sandals. But they pick them up. They pick them up from.
Yeah, but they also make like
no,
$1 to $5 million Bahamas.
Yes, but everything is relative, right?
Right. So come on.
So
I'm talking. I'd say it in the Bahamas now. Don't listen, Obi. Now you see, I got Ackland's on you now.
Yeah, okay.
Okay. Don't compare me to Ghana.
No.
I'm saying.
Right.
Yeah.
If they can have an agreement in Cuba, in Venezuela, and Turks and Caicos, in Barbados, in Antigua.
But were you trying to get? Please, I'm going to keep on appealing to your members.
Yeah.
I'm here to ask you the questions
Yeah.
so you can answer them.
Right.
Are you appealing? Are you negotiating or trying to negotiate the same terms as someone in Cuba on the face, okay, as they to get in the Bahamas? So in other words, in Cuba, where they may get like I don't know what even their thing is, a peso. I don't know what their thing is, their dollar is. Okay, 10 pesos a month. That way, $40 a month, and someone here is making $500 a month. Just throwing that out.
Right.
You expect them to get the same 3 meals that the people in Cuba get?
No. All we are saying, if you can sit down with Turks and Caicos and negotiate an industrial agreement, and you can do it in Barbados, and you can do it in Antigua and Bermuda, and all these other places, all we say, why can't you sit down and work out the terms and conditions with the Bahamian?
I agree
I
with
just
you.
find that difficult to understand.
I agree with you. See, I'm agreeing with you.
Very good.
But I'm saying to you, what were you going to? Would they? The question is this to me: at the end of the day, the worker. We're all workers, man. Okay. The question we have to ask is this:
Right.
am I being treated fairly by the employer to the extent that he? Because let me ask you this question.
No, can I say something before you get?
No, let me finish this point.
Go ahead.
Do we ever get to a point, and I want to ask this question, Obi, and this is a very serious question, where it becomes more about the union than the actual employee?
No, it's always the employee.
You know what I'm saying, though?
Yeah.
You understand where I'm coming?
Yeah, I understand
that it's
it.
more of an issue of the combativeness between the union, itself
Yeah.
and the management, as opposed to is the employee really in bad shape? I'm not saying yay or nay, but in the case of Sandals, I don't know. But what was the deal?
The management relationship with the union, as I said, we had no problem.
Did employees feel that they were getting shafted by Sandals?
They wanted an industrial agreement, which is what they're entitled to, and they wrote to the company. The company was very kind-minded. At one point, they said, "Look, we have to send a proposal to Jamaica for it to be reviewed." We waited from 2009 to 2016. We wrote them again. We said, let's meet? They said no. We went to the Ministry of Labor a couple of weeks ago. The Director of Labor says he can get them to come to the meeting. Ed, I mean, what?
Can I ask you this question? This is a hard question to ask, right?
Okay.
Was it personal? Was it personalities?
No.
It wasn't that they
That
want
was
to.
going to be my
That's what you're
question
going to
too,
ask?
because
No.
I just don't understand how they were able to negotiate so easily with the other Sandals resorts, but it seems to be a problem with this one.
Well,
Again, notice
we are not aware of any personality because they signed something in 2012.
Yeah.
That's what I'm saying. If they signed in 2012 and said we're going to be governed by this,
We'll be forced
Even
to
though
get
it-
Sandals on. We'll be forced to
No,
get
I
them
want
on.
I want
No,
them to come
obviously,
on.
yeah, because we'll have to find out
Yeah,
what their
because
side of the story is.
this is what they signed in 2012.
Mm-hmm.
They said, look, even though we don't have an agreement, a registered agreement, we're going to be governed by this. And they had a relationship.
Yeah.
All
But
of a sudden, they woke up.
But I got we got 5 more minutes, and I want to ask you, first of all.
I thought you brought me here for the hour.
Well,
I mean, I waited. I came here on time.
My apologies to you.
No, I came here on time.
You came here late because you were supposed to be
I
at
know.
4:45. But that's all right. No,
okay.
right. That's my fault.
Okay.
No, I take full responsibility, and you can even come back. That's
Okay.
my fault.
Okay.
But let me ask you this question, Obi. You covered. You got your case out there. You
Yeah.
can't say you didn't get your case, right?
Yeah.
Did
I come prepared.
I wasn't rowing you. Was I rowing you?
No, he wasn't around me.
Okay.
But I came prepared for an hour.
Yeah, but see, you come to battle. I only
Okay.
come to try to find
Okay.
some
All
answers,
right.
man. I didn't
I
come
hear
to battle,
you.
man. Let me ask you this question, and this is again, for general information, and my apologies for not giving you the 15 minutes.
You give the Prime
Okay.
Minister, how long you give him?
He got 45 too.
You got 45?
Yeah.
Okay, all right.
We don't play.
That's what makes you.
Okay. All right. Now let me ask you a question. At the end of the day.
Yeah.
600 people, as a matter of information, 600 people around there lost their jobs. I think it was 592, I think. Some of them reapplied. Some didn't reapply, just out of interest. What was that about?
I don't have a clue.
Okay. Some reapplied,
Yeah.
and I assume some of those people who reapplied got their job back. Or is that not yet determined?
I have
No, they
idea.
have. I know several people who've gotten their jobs
I
back.
have
So
no-
they
have no-
actually They actually
They
benefited
benefited because they got their money.
because
and
they
then
got a payout,
uh-huh,
and then they back break
on
it.
the
But it
job.
all depends on how you look at
I
it.
gotta let you be my union leader, man.
Yeah,
I gotta
yeah.
work that. I gotta work that number.
It all depends. It all depends.
No, but not to make sport, because obviously
Yeah.
there are people hurting.
Yeah.
Now, was it worth? I think that's the question, right? Was it worth it that these folks, because of, I don't know what was going on, I wasn't there. Well, if okay, but so let me ask you a question. If you had to do it over again, and you kind of knew what the outcome might be, would you take that same route?
There's no other road for me to take. I can't go civil. If it was civil, I would have done that. In other words, where the employer, this is where the law is. It may be bad, but where the employer failed to meet with the union.
Could you not? Okay,
Yeah.
I'm sorry to interrupt. you.
Where he failed to meet with the union to negotiate
Uh-huh.
an industrial agreement under Section 41(3), it says it's a criminal offense.
Well, could you not have negotiated, or could you not have pushed? This is the whole thing, for legislation that would have allowed for that type of thing to have more force if your case is valid,
We tried it from 2009.
as opposed to jeopardizing.
We tried to amend the legislation from 2009. Nothing has happened. We were told that the legislation would be drafted on the 30th of September. This September, I'm saying, September gone.
Did you think they would be? Did you think when y'all made that decision that it would result in people being fired?
I never thought it would be.
Yeah,
To be honest with you,
Yeah.
I didn't see how that was possible.
yeah,
But again, it happened,
yeah,
and we got to deal with it.
yeah.
We got to find a way to deal with it. The government, see, Ed, we tried everything. We tried the director, we tried the minister, and we tried the prime minister.
Well,
where do you go?
I'll say this to you now.
Where do you go?
I'll say this to you now.
You
You
gotta
can
take to the streets.
The only people that are going to end up. You see, here's the interesting thing: the particular employer and some of the employers are not going to suffer for this.
Why you say so?
Because
Yeah.
you just finished telling me that, I mean, essentially what they did was they did a legal thing. They closed down.
Yeah.
They used a loophole or whatever the process, whatever it is.
But
Okay, so what is the recourse now at this point against them?
Certainly from a criminal end, that may be an issue. It may be a dead end because we can't appeal the Attorney General.
You can't
appeal that.
and not only that. Well, you're going back to the NOLI.
Yeah.
But on the issue of what they did, set the action Sandals take, there's no recourse there in law for you to take, right?
Yes, there is a recourse.
What is that?
Well, the possibility of unfair dismissal. The court
Oh,
can,
the
the court,
possibility.
the court can order reinstatement.
Okay.
That's the action that I filed.
All right. Well, listen, I do apologize to you. We should have had time, but we covered most of the stuff. I mean, was there something you felt?
No,
yeah.
no. I just thought that you made me. I left my office, and I should charge you.
Are you trying to make me feel bad now?
Yeah.
You gonna charge me a fee?
I should charge you a fee.
I told you. What did I tell you when you came in here?
Yeah, I should charge you a fee for causing me to wait here.
The loss of income? That's what you're trying to say?
Loss of income.
You
You're gonna put a strike on me?
I don't think that'll work it here.
Listen, listen. I want folks to know, and it's very important, is that we're just trying to give information.
Yeah.
And Obi, I want to thank you for coming by, and outlining
Yeah.
what you believe, what you know to be the case from your perspective. We'll obviously have Sandals and have them outline their thing. But at the end of the day, I think we all empathize with those who would have been had the side effects. Of the whole thing, and hopefully we can resolve it. But I would impose upon you, or implore you, I should say, to let's be rational in the approach toward labor. I think there's been some irrationality, and I'm not saying that both sides don't have that, but I think the general public is not, because that's really the question. And I know Kendra got the music in my ear, but the question that I did not ask you on the air that I'm going to ask you. Is why should the public suffer because of this? Why don't you deal with the parties involved, man?
The government?
Well, whomever the parties are.
Yeah. Well, we are dealing with the government. We will be. Our focus is on the government because it was the Attorney General that did what she did. She has created a problem for all Bahamians.
We in dire trouble in this country, financially, etc.
I agree.
And we need to not go backwards with any kind of moves that would not be, you know.
But look, we have a strike vote. We didn't use it. I chose not to do it. I thought the best thing to do is to sit down and hammer out something. But if you can't get the Labor Department,
Did you use the word knees? We can bring us to the knees.
no,
You don't use that word?
No, I think I'm listening to you.
Okay, don't do that.
Don't do it.
No, don't do
okay,
that.
but we will do. We
Just
will,
continue to talk.
where?
Well, wherever you got to talk,
You
continue to
can't
talk.
talk. Who do you talk to now?
Talk to the people.
The Labor Board don't technically, for all intents and purposes, the tribunal doesn't exist because the tribunal cannot.
Talk to the people, and when we get off the air, I can tell you what that means.
Okay.
All right?
Okay.
We'll be back on Thursday.
Okay.
All right?
Okay. Pleasure.